do you make of this attempt to seemingly pin blame on scientists for political decisions?
I wish this wasn't the case, because scientists advise and the politicians take the ultimate decisions. And for a long time, people like myself, who are independent scientists, have been asking to see the minutes of the SAGE and the constitution of the SAGE and the makeup of SAGE. And if we had, we wouldn't be having these difficulties today. This is very disappointing. The scientists are doing a very difficult job, but at the same time, it would have been much better if the minutes of the SAGE, the advice given to the government, and the reference material that SAGE was using was public knowledge, because that way we would all know the lie of the land and the decisions and the flow of information to the politicians.
So you would like to have added to that advice, indeed contradict that advice, if you had the chance to do so?
Absolutely. We want to contribute. We are not adversarial to SAGE or to the government. We want to help the government in this crisis. And, we are straining at the reins to say, why don't you sort of show us what you are doing so that we can say fair play? Or how about this? How about that? Have you considered this? I appreciate you don't want too many cooks spoiling the broth, so to speak, but at least it assuages concerns if we know your decision-making tree.
On the care home discharges, as an expert in how these diseases spread, just how could this crisis have unfolded in care homes?
We have had a crisis in the care homes, which we have neglected for a long time. And this is extremely unfortunate. And this is not only in the last 10 years. It goes beyond the last 10 years. I, as a consultant in communicable disease control, have observed, watched, and seen what goes on in care homes. And I feel, especially with infection control, they could have done much better if only there was a resolve from central government to enforce that it is done better.
Another major issue, of course, is testing, and this committee has accused the government of failing on this. What would you have liked to have seen done differently when it comes to testing?
So myself and my colleagues, we are independent people at academic places and elsewhere, have been saying for a very long time, it is not good enough for you to tell us that what Germany can do, the United Kingdom cannot do with regards to biotech companies speeding up the manufacture of test kits and making the tests and the test kits. Just do not accept it. The UK is a world leader in biotechnology and biotechnical scientists. We just did not put the call out to the industry to say, hurry up, we need you to make these tests and get these tests done. We would have asked industry as soon as we knew that there was a rising tide of infection coming our way.
And this obsession with 100,000 tests every day, the accusation is that they let capacity drive policy, not the other way round.
Indeed, and really, to be honest, it is a numbers game, and it bamboozles members of the public. What we want is demand and supply, and more importantly, we want appropriate testing at appropriate places. So we have a very centralized control, and with a centralized control, we do not have that dynamic of testing locally. And there are local GPs. This is incredible, absolutely incredible. We have local heroes, local people who really know the stuff, completely bypassed from being able to undertake testing or contact tracing. And long-term, we are going to need the local experts, the GPs, the GUM physicians, public health people, to manage it locally as it happens. So why not use them from the beginning?
You say long-term. Isn't this all going to be over soon? The death rate's falling, infection rate's falling. Is there really a danger of a second wave?
I think we have to this is the other thing. We have to brace ourselves for a much longer ride and be upfront and clear with our people that this is the long run, because Africa and other poorer countries who do not have their infections under control will inevitably bring the circulation around the globe, and it will keep on going around the globe unless we suppress it across the globe simultaneously. So yes, I very much feel we are in for the long term, and I expect flare-ups in months to come, even after we have suppressed it.